Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth edition of RevCon. We are live, and my name is Pragya. I'm the head of marketing at RevGenius. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to settle down, join us, get settled in your chairs because we have a lot of amazing, exciting sessions planned for you. But while we wait, why don't we do something? Let's introduce ourselves. Why don't you grab your LinkedIn URLs, drop it in the chat, and let's connect with each other so that at least when we get out of RevCon, we all have a much bigger network. So I would start by, hey, Ricken, how are you doing? Hey, Joe. Joe's dropped her LinkedIn. Hey, Laura, nice to see you. Mitch, Praveen, okay. And while we're waiting, why don't you tell me also, just drop the name of the city you're joining us from, because I am expecting that today we will have more than 5,000 people joining from all over the world. So Nairobi, Atlanta, Toronto, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chicago, Austin, Germany. I cannot pronounce the German city. NYC, Lagos, Pune, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. We are not even a minute in, and I can see, like, I don't know, 300 people, different cities, Montreal. Okay, we have Jared in the chat as well. We have Dallas in the house. Let's go, Colby. Paris, Oakland. Okay, this is very, very exciting. I have a few things that I want to tell all of you. I'm just going to give you a little bit more time for people to join in and kind of get settled. But while we do that, let's have a quick reminder of the logistics of how today is going to work. So, of course, if you're just joining in, drop your LinkedIn. Let's connect with each other so that we, expand our network. Then, during the day, if you hear any of the sessions that you really like, if there's something that a speaker says that you really like, make a note, make a post on LinkedIn, tag the speaker, and tag us so that we can also, repost and engage with you all. Let's do that. So yeah, feel free to take screenshots, make posts on LinkedIn, and remember to tag us. Then a few housekeeping rules. So first, you have the chat on the right side. So if you want to chat with others, you can hit reply to somebody's chat, like you do on general messenger services. You can also use different GIFs. There are some interesting ones in the chat, so use them, make it exciting. We are going to actually have 8 back-to-back sessions. So you don't actually have to do anything in terms of going from one session to another. You will be pushed automatically to the next session. Just stay inside the AirMeet environment and you will be taken to the next session once a session is over. We also have our sponsors booth and people in those booths. So if you want to learn anything more about any of our sponsors, and Jared will tell you a little bit more about our sponsors in a bit, make sure you visit their booth. Now let's grab a glass of water, coffee, whatever you want. Keep those LinkedIn URLs coming, and I will pass the mic to Jared, I think, and he will tell us something interesting about what's next and why it matters. So, leaving you in the good hands of Jared, I shall say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
Why what's next matters. It's 8:30 a.m. and I'm upstairs in the courthouse on the second floor staring at a computer screen. On any other day, you would have guessed that I was standing trial. But today, it was jury duty. And I had every excuse to wiggle out of it. Moms in other states, dad, one single mom in another state, a dad as well. But today I chose to sit in. That's how much I disliked what I was doing. Have you ever been so unfulfilled in your career or at something that you would prefer to sit at jury duty? Well, that was me, and this was then. And here I was staring at a computer from the 1980s. Were there even computers around then with an internet speed to match? I picked this option over all else. You see, I was working at FedEx at the time, and just months earlier, I finished number 1 out of 500 in the world. Pretty good, right? And after I did that, made President's Club, won all of these awards, my director came to me and said, "Amazing. What's next?" And I knew the answer internally at FedEx. I could either handle bigger accounts or go into management, but I didn't know the answer internally with Jared. Did I actually want to handle big accounts or go into management? The answer was no, but I had no idea what I wanted. So here I am at this computer screen from the 1980s with internet speed to match, with all of these people standing down yonder waiting for some trial or not to hopefully not start. I just wanted to keep putting off going back to work. And on my screen staring back at me was Brian fucking Eccleston. Redhead, freckles, my old high school, one of my high school best friends. And I'm looking at him on LinkedIn. This is before content really came out, and we were just having profiles. And the reason why I was looking at him was because Brian, like, we had started TJB Auto Detailing. If you could guess, I was the J, he was the B. Shout out to Troy for the T. We didn't have much creativity in naming, but what we lacked in that, we had in intelligence. And Brian was the most intelligent. Went to school for engineering at a great school. He graduated, and I watched him become an account executive at various technology companies. And now on the screen in front of me, the same red hair, the same freckles that he's had his whole life, but now a job as an AE at Martini Media. What the fuck is Martini Media? I worked at FedEx, a Fortune 100 company. I knew UPS. I knew some other big companies. Martini Media? Martini was probably the drink I had the night before, but is that a company I'm going to work for? Yet I sat at this computer screen looking at Brian's face on a static profile. This was before we were doing video 30 and all of that. And I thought to myself, this kid has the key. He wouldn't be at this job if there wasn't something interesting. So I decided to write him a direct message on LinkedIn. And I'm still shocked to this day that with that internet speed so slow and that computer so old, not only did he get the message pretty quickly, but he actually wrote back and I got the reply. So we hopped on a phone call right away. I mean, what else did I have to do? I was on jury duty in 2012, right? So computer from the 80s, about 30 years later. And he said, I have an incredible thing. I said, I don't know what I want to do next, Brian. I know it's not here. What's Martini Media? Can we talk? So we did. And mind you, we're still not called into trial yet. I don't even know what's going on, but the whole universe is opening for me. And he said, Jared, I'm making $300K a year as an account executive at Martini Media, and I'm leaving because I have an offer for $400K a year. And I'm like, holy shit, like, that's awesome. He's like, you could take my job. Maybe. You have to interview and all of that. He's like, but you did pretty well. And I'm like, a fire lit up inside me. Now, it wasn't just money alone, although that was certainly a green flag, right? But it was also the ambition to go into a new space, technology, digital advertising. And he had planted this seed inside of me that would burn so much, so hard, because that job, like for the first time in my professional career, he gave me that answer. What's next? And for me, it was going into this awesome world of tech where the possibilities were endless. And I could go to different companies, whether it's a Martini Media or something that I might have heard of, but I could have a career there. Now, this seed was so strong that when that job fell through for Brian and he had to keep that old job, and I didn't have an easy pathway in, I said to heck with it. He became my mentor. He guided me through applying for other companies, figuring it out, understanding the space, acronyms I had never heard of before, like CPA, CAC, CAC, ROAS, etc. He came from the advertising part of it and later ad tech, until I landed my first job. Now, since I'm not going to say things have been all roses, but the seed that Brian planted stayed with me throughout my whole career to the eventual starting of RevGenius. And today, with our third annual RevCon, this seed that planted in me, I goaled my team this year, at the beginning of the year, 2024, to figure out what was next because of that lasting impact that Brian had on me. So they came back to me with such phenomenal ideas and created lists. You probably remember at the beginning of the year, we released the next 50 creators. We looked high and low for folks that were having a new major impact on the content they were creating, the ideas they were sharing, and the companies they were growing. So we featured them. There were 50, there was way more than 50. Some of those speakers, or some foreshadowing, some of those list makers will be speaking and sharing what made them so successful over the next few days. Then my team came back to me and said, these are the most thoughtful, fast-growing companies. These are the next 50. They're all Series A or earlier. A lot of people might not have heard of them, but not only are their products next level, we are in the age of AI, as you've probably heard, but their go-to-market strategies are unique. And they're growing fast. They're growing lean. We're done with the growth at all costs. It's almost cliche to mention it, everybody. We are in the growth at lowest cost, how to be efficient. And these are the companies leading in that, in the new playbooks. And I'm proud to say so many of these creators have won so many accolades far bigger than us. And the top 50 companies have raised the next rounds of funding. And we're featuring them the next few days as well. The seed that was originally planted with Brian, to me, our team and I are bringing to you throughout this whole year and everything we do, because we want you to find your Brian Eccleston, whether that's a person speaking with an idea, a topic discussed, a company represented, or ideas shared, or people in the chat right here. I'm watching you all go crazy to the right as we're pushing over 300 folks in here. We want to give you the opportunity to figure out what's next, whether that's for your career, your company, your livelihood, or your life. That's what's important. That's why it's important. Welcome everybody to RevCon 2024. And I'm going to show you what's in store for today. in case you're wondering if I couldn't find the doc or not, of course I could. I'm just so excited to be sharing all of this. So first, we wouldn't be here today without our sponsors. You all in the audience may notice you didn't have to pay to come or be a part of RevGenius. How we're able to keep leveling up for you is because we have such tremendous partners that care about you, that care about us, and that care about driving home what's next. So diamond sponsor, shout out to Attention. By the way, Anis just got attention.com. It only cost him his whole last round of funding. No, but he's going to be speaking about how he leverages AI to grow. Our platinum sponsors, we have such tremendous platinum sponsors, and you hear from all of them, such as Pigment, Seamless.ai, Zoom Info, Fullcast, Docket, Lean Data, and Alicio. And what's cool about so many of these companies that are sponsoring RevCon, I don't want to take you away from here, but a lot of them have participated in other events, and you could actually like go to our site and see them on demo day. Like shout out so many of you all. And if you can't, I'll demo you their products myself. Our gold sponsor, Una Software, who's phenomenal. And our platform sponsor, we wouldn't be here without AirMeet. We wouldn't, I mean, I guess we'd be on Zoom, and the year would be 2012 when I was on that really slow computer. Just kidding. We all use Zoom and love them. But thank you to our sponsors. You're going to hear such tremendous thought-leading content from them. And what's really cool about our sponsors, they are all on the forefront of what's next. And it's just really awesome to align throughout. So the day one lineup, without further ado, the next session will be taught by none other than Brian Eccleston. Just kidding. The future of sales is what's next. And these three individuals, outside of being close friends, all outside of Darren McKee on the Next 50 Creators list, the only reason why he wasn't on it, and actually Leslie, because they've been around way longer and they're way bigger, but they're going to be talking about what's next in sales, how to sell today different. And Melissa Gaglione is spectacular. Also, my good friend, and I'm going to be introducing him, Alex Lieberman. Creating a newsletter isn't just for creators. Emailing people isn't just to tell them about an upcoming webinar or try to develop demand directly or sell them something directly. Building a newsletter for a B2B company is a thing, and it's a potent one. So we figured we'd get the best in the game, the co-founder of Morning Brew, to teach you about it. And by the way, his new project, Story Our Fractional Content Head, is exceptional. It's where the puck is going. Now, building a community-led growth engine. We wouldn't be a community without talking about community, but like, this isn't just talking about why community is spectacular. Like, we're going to focus on how community could be a growth lever for you. Thought about two of the best companies in the space of community-led growth. I mean, I don't even think this is arguable. Both Common Room and Clay, we got them both. They're going to be talking about some of the plays they run and how they build a community-led growth engine. So we've evolved from you should start a community and nobody knowing how to do it to like this is how to build it for growth and hitting your growth metrics and grabbing two of the strongest folks in the space. Shout out Clay for being on our Next 50 list. Then how to build a revenue team investors love. Hasn't exactly been an easy climb at the last 12 months. And So we grabbed two incredible women that are the best in the space at building revenue teams that generate revenue, but also that get investment. So Tiffany and Lindsay will be leading the way there. And then we have a phenomenal panel of some of the top women in GTM, more top women in GTM, led by Karthi, Colleen, and Judith, talking about influencing and implementing GTM strategies within organizations. There are no better people. Karthi took the lead with this, and running, being director of GTM at GTM Partners, this is going to be spectacular. So definitely come for this. And then I don't know if you all have seen me posting some of the worst videos on LinkedIn. That's an objective statement. I'm going to be tuning in for video content driving revenue masterclass. Even my mediocre videos actually are driving some revenue and some inbound, and it's super interesting to learn about. Decided to get people far better than I to talk about it instead. People that I learn from, Chris, Will, Todd, like, come on. And then Lex hosting it. This is a masterclass. If you want to learn video, if you're not sure if you want to, but you're here because you want to drive revenue, show up to this. Okay. You need to understand how to drive revenue today. And there's a new mix happening. So like, educate yourself. And then finally, closing out day one, Jam, harnessing the power of Gen AI and signal-based selling from our sponsor, ZoomInfo. So we have a tremendous day planned. What sessions are you all the most excited about? Drop it in the comments. We have the newsletter, sales, newsletter, the ladies in go-to-market. Everybody, show up to as many sessions as you can. This is just day one. We have 3 days. They're only big half days versus full. And we've done that for you. We realize your schedules and attention spans might drift, and we want to make this as action-packed as possible. Thank you all for coming to RevCon. Just like Brian imparted on me a sure plan of what's next, or at least a seed planted that I was able to sprout and figure out, RevCon the next 3 days will do that with you. Thank you all for being here. In about 7 minutes, our first session starts. Welcome to RevCon, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jared. That was amazing. I invite all of you now to just hang on and make sure you join the next session, which is the one that Jared showed you, which was the future of sales with 3 amazing speakers. You have 6 minutes to go get yourself a glass of water, get some coffee, and stay on this screen, and we will automatically push you to the next session. So I will see you there, and have a great RevCon. Bye-bye. Yeah, coffee it is.